Hey, happy hump day to everybody here out in crypto world. Uh I was just looking at some Fibonacci retracements, looking on the 12-hour for Bitcoin, and I just wanted to kind of run through and have some fun with Fibs, and kind of show you where we're at and where I think we could be headed, based on a possible Fib breakout. So let's look at some Fib retracements. Now, a lot of this, there's a lot on this chart, and I know there's a lot of Fibonacci retracements on here, but I'm just gonna run through a few here and there, to kind of give you a a glimpse at kind of what I look at, when it comes to looking at some support and resistance off of the Fibonacci levels. But let's start back here at the beginning of 19, and I'm gonna blow this up because there's a whole bunch of Fibonacci levels on here. Uh, and I got the ADX down here. It's just as one validator. I use a bunch of other stuff too, but just to give you an idea of how to determine if it's going to hold or not, on the support resistance level. So starting back here, 3100 got that low in December. We rallied up and got this high up here, and then came down to this point. The 61.8% level was right around 3,500, and kind of held at that point, and bounced. You could take the high from here, and the low from this point. As it bounced up to here, it hit the 61.8% level at 39.82. As this was happening, there wasn't a lot going on in the ADX. The momentum was dropping, not giving really a sense of direction. So we are kind of bouncing back and forth here between fib levels. You take the low at this point and the high here. Um, oh, I don't have that one drawn on there. Let's look at the next one here. Got the low at 35.67, and it worked its way up to here, at 41.14. Got to the 61.8% level right here at 37.76, and as you can see, it did a nice little support resistance flip, to where the 61.8% level becomes resistance, and as it just flew right through it like it wasn't even there. So psychology is if it breaks the 61.8%, most likely you want to wait until the previous low if there's typically some momentum behind it. This one just started to get above the 20, so there wasn't a ton of momentum. Um, being built in the indicator itself. But the price dropped pretty quickly, right back down to the previous low. So that was a nice little trade if anybody did that. You can move into the next realm here. You got it actually went through the 100% here, got down to 34.81. You could take this Fibonacci retracement from this low to this high, got to the 61.8% level right here, busted through, made a full retracement. So you just had another one, just a kind of a little bit of a smaller time frame as the bears were still in control with a little bit of trend, as the ADX was just above 20. Not a ton, but as you can see, you're kind of consolidating in here. You know, you could go from this point, kind of popped back up. You got the high here, you got the low here, uh, got this 38% level here as it tied in right here, which looked like it was getting ready to start taking off to the downside, and starting to make some lows, because you got that shallow fib going this direction, which I'm a big fan of the shallow fibs with momentum being kind of behind it. But as it approached here, a lot of other indicators that I don't have on here was saying that this was another buy level, uh, going forward. So actually my buy area, was on the break of up here, and I'll show that here in a second. But as we keep looking at more of these fibs, you start here on this low and work to this high. You got another shallow 38.2% level right here. But one thing that was really kicking butt was the trend for the bulls. And that I love to see nice support on a 38.2% retracement off of a high and low, with momentum behind it. And of course, we kind of took off and got another little run to the upside. Uh, actually, you take the low from here and just take this whole long run here. You got a whole move down to the 61.8% level right at this point. Just from this, where are we at, 33.40, all the way up to the 41.88. Came back down to this point. held right here at the 61.8% level. Momentum was starting to dry up a little bit again, so we got into a little bit more sideways at this point. But I just want to kind of show you how, just take a look at some of these highs and lows and where support and resistance comes in on these fib levels. But let's kind of look over we got this little parabolic move. One of the things I liked here was from this low to this high, came down and tested this 38.2% level, which was a nice hold. Started from this low up to this parabolic move, came down and held at this 38.2. It did wick down, but definitely a lot of support here. I liked it because it found some buying and closed above it, to just to keep the run going. You go into this next run here, you got another 38.2% level hold at this point, and then it just and the trend just keeps going. There was this low to this high right here, all the way up to 90.90, tested the 61.8%, popped back up, did not make a new high, came back, retested it, and then retraced all the way back down to the previous low. So again, a lot of these times when you have a break of these 61.8% levels, wait for the previous low, if your indicators are telling you to wait, so you can really take advantage of that market opportunity to the downside and buy at a better price. So let's move into closer where we're at today. We had this nice little parabolic move here. So if you take the low here at 74.27 all the way up to the high here at the 13,000 and so, or 13.8, I think it was. You take the 61.8% on this was at 98.87, which just held the other day. This is the area I really liked for a trade. I was thinking that without a lot of the momentum being built for the bears, um, uh, it tried to cross over right at this point, but the bulls still want to keep control. So buying support in there, and then we're popping back up again. So here, let me blow this up a little bit so we can see a little closer what we're doing here. Um, the from Actually, I just put a couple other fibs in here. Like from this high to this low, it popped up to this 61.8% level right here. And then again, if you take this low to this high, the 61.8% levels here made a full retracement. I don't have that one in there, but it was just looking at the other direction. But where we are today, we had that high here at 12,444, worked its way down to the low of 96.51. So if you look at the 61.8% level for this one, it's right there at 11,377, which right now we're currently at 11,261, trading kind of pressuring against this on the 12 hour. It wicked up once, wicked up again. The thing is there's not a a big move for the bulls just yet, but I do like what I see because the ADX is um, just starting to level off there a little bit, and it's still leveling off into an area where there is momentum. So I think, based on that and based on some of the other things I'm seeing, I like the possibility of breaking through this 11,377. And just like I said before, if we break through a 61.8% level and we got some momentum behind it and some validation from some other indicators, you the 12,444 should come to fruition pretty quickly. So I like that move here. So one thing to watch, if this breaks to the upside here, one thing we're going to look at is, we're going to take the fib of this level all the way down to here. Um, at this point. So if this rallies up to the 12,444 and gets that full retracement, we might have a possibility of breaking that 12,261 to the upside. As long as we get some momentum and some other things pushing us through, if we get above this 61.8%, I see a full retracement back to the 13.8, and then possibly up until up into some new highs. Because if you take this is the 12 hour. Let me pull it to a daily here real quick. Um, One of the things I like to see on the daily here is that the momentum, the bulls are not crossing, or the positive directional index is not crossing down through the negative, and the ADX is saying, "Hey, we still got some momentum." So that's one of the things a little bit more on a longer term time frame that I like to see some of that action, to where I think we're getting some more buying interest into this market. Now we could take a Fibonacci of this high way back when, at 19,000, get all the way up to the 3,100 down here as a low. Um, that so these are levels that I'm watching here. So if this breaks through that 12 that I was looking at to get up to the 13 again, uh, it all depends if we can break this 61.8% level that we tried to break on that previous move, and then we have a nice little ABC correction back. I think we're not we might have this nice little leg up and break this 61.8%, so we can get into the move of getting up into this 19K again. So that's I know there's a lot of Fibonacci's in there, and I hope it wasn't too boring looking at some of this, but just take a look at just a simple look at support and resistance of previous high and low, and see the retracements. If you're coming down to a 38.2% and there's still a lot of momentum for the current trend, look for a hold there. And of course, there's some other indicators to look at. I'm not going to go through it on this video. I'll highlight it in some other things. But if you just look at the ADX, just see if the momentum's there. That could be your first line of defense, and then go on and look at some other things that are going on. But that's where we're at. I think we might be able to. Let me go back to the 12-hour here, and then blow this up. We are. I like that we're pressing against it, but 11,377 is what I'm looking at. If we can get, I would love to see a daily close. If we close the day out today, close hump day with a nice 11.4 or higher, I would really like that. And then bring 12.2 right into the picture and get a nice little $1,000 jump. I'd like to see that over the next couple of days. So that's where I'm at. I hope you guys got something out of this. Any more questions on Fibonacci retracements or anything Fibonacci? I've been doing this for years. I'll answer any questions that I can. Just DM me out on Twitter, on FiboSwanny out there. So hope you guys have a good holiday weekend for the people in the States with Independence Day. Hope you guys have a good time there. Another way to be independent is to get your own Bitcoin wallet and then be your own bank. That's another form of independence out there. So just messing. All right. Happy trading. Peace out.